Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, and today we will be dealing with the free course on Alison.com. We'll be continuing where we left off. Today, I will just be reading through because a lot of persons have complained that they are not able to browse through the topics on their device, um, mostly on the phones, and they don't have any computer. So I'm just going to be reading this for you. And then at the end of it, the same devices were able to go on to the module to the test. So once you're able to listen to the audio, at the end of it, you should be able to do the test. All right. So picking up from where we left off the last video, professional qualities in customer service. Professionals who constantly deal with customers inside and outside the company need to strive for certain qualities to help them answer customer needs. The professional qualities of customer service to be emphasized always relate to what the customer wants. After years of polling and market research, it turns out customers are constantly internalizing their customer service experience. What this means is they are grading your customer service during each transaction, but you rarely know it. While there are a multiple of customer needs, five basic needs stand out. Number one, friendliness, the most basic and associated with courtesy and politeness. Number two, empathy. The customer needs to know that the service provider appreciates their wants and circumstances. Number three, fairness. The customer wants to feel they receive adequate attention and reasonable answers. Number four, control. The customer wants to feel his or her wants and input has influence on the outcome. Number five, information. Customers want to know about products and services, but in a pertinent and time sensitive manner. It is also very important for customer service employees to have information about their product or service. Service providers who answer, I don't know, or it is not my department, are automatically deemed and demeaned and demoted in the mind of the customer. These employees can end up feeling hostile as well as unequipped. Customers want information, and they disrespect and distrust the person who is supposed to have information but does not. Employees need to be empowered to satisfy customers. Employees will give bad service to customers if they themselves receive bad service and little feedback from their managers and supervisors. Remember, external customer service starts with internal customer service. Customer service techniques. Making a good first impression. Every salesperson in every business knows the importance of making a positive first impression. Salespeople know their success and livelihood will depend on how their potential customer perceives them in the first 30 seconds of interaction. Good salespeople develop an almost instantaneous rapport with potential customers. Customers like them, follow their advice, and then buy their product. The reality is that we prefer doing business with those we like and trust. Impressions are the key to developing trust and confidence in the customer. As the old saying goes, you will never get a second chance to make a first impression. That is why the first impression is extremely important and can set the tone for all future transactions. Here are some ways of creating positive impressions. Number one, thoughtfulness in meeting the customer's needs. Number two, personal responsibility for a customer. Number three, quick problem solving for the customer. Number four, offering immediate assistance. Number five, friendliness. Number six, using a customer's name in a conversation. Number seven, pleasant tone of voice. Number eight, neatness. And number nine, a genuine smile. Here are some factors that create a negative impression. Number one, making the customer wait. Number two, not answering the phone promptly. Number three, not saying please and or thank you. Number four, speaking loudly or condescendingly to customers or colleagues. Number five, making faces, frowning, acting distant, not smiling. Number six, looking disheveled or like you do not care about your appearance. Number eight, a poor handshake. And number nine, focusing on another task while addressing or servicing a customer. Remember, impressions stay with those you meet, especially customers, and once registered, negative impressions are difficult to overcome. Simple actions, huge returns. As the following statistics demonstrate, simple customer service can create huge returns for a business. Customers will spend up to 10% more for the same product with better service. When customers receive good service, they tell 10 to 12 people on average. When customers receive poor service, they tell 20 people or more. There is an 82% chance customers will repurchase from a company where they were satisfied. There is a 91% chance that poor service will dissuade a customer from ever going back to a company. Presenting yourself. It is often not what you articulate, but how it is presented. What you wear and how you express yourself has a lot to do with how what you say is received. When have you ever noticed how a person who is dressed up, even in older or out of style clothing, always commands more authority and respect? The impression they make and what they have to say is enhanced by their personal presentation, facial and hand gestures, as well as the substance of what they have to say. As it turns out, substance is only part of the equation of being persuasive and influencing perception. On one level, this seems unfair and superficial because what a person says and how they behave should be more important than if they are well groomed, smiling, and dressed up. Yet, visual perceptions play a vital role in human impressions and reactions. For reasons psychologists do not always understand, nature and learned behavior have taught humans to perceive neat, smiling, well presented individuals in a more commanding manner. The interpersonal actions of customer service. It is clear that just looking good will not produce the desired level of customer satisfaction. The interpersonal actions in this list mean a great deal in the area of customer relations. They can change customer perceptions and ultimately affect the success of your customer relations efforts. Smiling. There is nothing like a smile and pleasant face to greet a customer, especially if he or she has a complaint. A smile and pleasant conversation can immediately disarm a disgruntled customer. Facial expression sets a positive tone before you even begin to speak. A relaxed or pleasant facial expression is the ideal most of the time. Eye contact. Eye contact is a very important part of customer service. It helps you to appear engaged, confident, and trustworthy. It is important to always look into your customer's eyes and directly address the customers. How you look. Personal grooming has a big impact on the customers. Dirty hands, messy hair, and poor dress can mean the loss of an otherwise happy customer. When interacting with customers, dress neatly and in a professional manner so as to command respect and to let customers know you take your position seriously. Shaking hands. When shaking hands with a customer, a firm and professional handshake is expected. This part of the greeting is now common among both men and women in a professional environment. Be attentive. When listening to your customer, Slightly lean towards your customer and nod your head ever so slightly to indicate you are listening. Tone of voice. Always convey friendliness and amicability. Do not raise your voice in frustration or anger, no matter how difficult or tiresome a customer may behave. Hand gestures. Use hand movements to emphasize what you say, even on the phone, and to emphasize your feelings. Personal space. This is a distance that feels comfortable between you and another person. If another person approaches you and invades your personal space, you automatically move back without thought. You are uncomfortable. Leave adequate distance between you and your customer. Adequate space is important to make customers feel secure and unthreatened. Posture. Slumping in a chair or leaning against a wall while interacting with a customer are sure signs you are not interested in the customer. Your purpose, your pose, or posture should express attention, friendliness, and openness. Lean forward, face the customer, and nod to let them know you are interested. Observation. Notice how your customer behaves and what he or she reacts positive to while you are providing service. Conversations over the telephone. The moment you pick up a telephone, body language and visual perceptions disappear, and your tone of voice becomes dominant. Almost the entire message you project to the customer over the phone is derived from the tone of voice and attitude. For example, a flat tone of voice says to the customer, I don't like my job and would rather be elsewhere. Slow pitch and presentation say, I'm sad and lonely. Do not bother me. A high pitch, rapid voice says, I'm enthusiastic and excited. A loud voice says, I'm angry and aggressive. Answering the telephone. How a company answers the phone can tell the whole story of how they treat customers and employees. The correct phrase, said in the right order, in a positive tone, leaves a good impression and starts the customer client relationship off on the right foot. Click on the steps below to learn the best method of answering the phone in an organization. Now, if your device is working, you just click and you go ahead and read. Pick up the phone in 3 rings. More than 3 rings signals chaos in your office or inattentiveness on the part of your company or organization. Greet the caller. Example, hello, good morning. Good manners show you respect the caller. Give your name. Example, hi, my name is Emma. This is a courtesy that serves to personalize the customer service experience as well as allowing the customer to hold you accountable for a level of service. He or she now has a point of reference and someone to contact when he or she calls back. Ask if the customer Ask the customer how you can help. Asking to help tells the customer you are there to serve his or her needs and to solve their problem. This also leaves the customer with a positive impression. Put it all together and you have a good example. Good morning. Thanks for calling the Farming and Trading Agency. My name is Emma. How may I help you today? The greeting is key. It sets the tone and style of the whole interaction. Troubleshooting. When providing customer service over the phone, unavoidable situations may arise that lead to the customer being upset. Click on the tips below to learn how to handle these situations. Number one, putting a customer on hold. Ask the customer if you can put them on hold. Wait for him or her to say yes or no, and then explain it will only be for a short period of time. Explain to the customer why you are putting them on hold. After you return to the phone, thank the customer for holding. Transferring a call. Ask the customer if they would mind being transferred. Wait for them to say yes or no and explain why they are being transferred and to who. taking a message. Explain your coworker's absence in a positive light, but do not be too specific. Explain that the coworker is in a meeting, conference, briefing, or training. Do not say he or she is gravely ill, is too hungover to come to work, never called in today, can't be found, that you do not know where he or she is, or that he or she was just here. Give a reasonable estimate of when the coworker will return. Offer to help the caller, take a message, or transfer to another staff member. If a coworker is on holiday and will not return to the office for some time, it is permissible to say that he or she is on holiday. However, avoid details such as Raymond is at the beach and I'm sure he's having a great time. While such details may seem innocuous and even humorous, they give the wrong impression of those to those seeking service. Ending the call. This is the final step to good telephone etiquette. A good customer service representative ends the call on a positive note, repeating any actions agreed to be taken and what is going to be done to help or serve the customer. Prompting answering of business email. Prompt answering of business email. Oh. Answering your business email promptly should be a priority for all businesses. Not only is email an important communication line with your customers, it is often used by them to gauge that you are trustworthy. If a customer sends you an email with a simple question and you take forever to answer it, what does that say about the rest of your operation? It's one of the telltale signs customers use to separate men from boys. And we all want to play with the big guys, don't we? Talking about the big businesses, surveys show that the top 500 fail miserably at answering their business email. Jupiter Communications reported that 42% took more than 5 days to answer a simple question. In the world of internet, that might as well have been forever. If a customer has to wait that long for an answer, most likely she will have taken their business elsewhere. 35% of companies don't even bother to answer at all. First, a research in reporting figures that are similar. Business email should be answered within 24 hours maximum, no exceptions. At that rate, you're doing a lot better than a lot of other businesses. If you really want your customer service to shine, you should consider answering your business email twice a day with a 12-hour interval. It is even better to check out your direct competition by sending them an email as if you were a potential customer. Send them more than one on several days. Especially check out Mondays, Fridays, and weekends. Track the time it's taking them to answer and implement a procedure to beat them at the business email game. It may be difficult for small businesses to promptly reply to email as resources are limited. However, your stream of business email is most likely to be a lot less than that of bigger companies. If you check and answer email regularly, your staff will be more than likely to be able to cope with workload. Communicating with the customer. How many times have you, as a customer, run into the problem of excuses? There's a problem, and the salesperson, technician, or customer service rep is making unacceptable excuses such as, it is the fault of the computer, it is the fault of another sales clerk, it is the fault of the chief of the department, it is the fault of the system, it is the fault of the government, it is just the way it is. Sometimes it feels as if nothing is anybody's fault or is in anybody's department. This is poor customer service. Good customer service means accountability, responsibility, and taking action to satisfy the customer. This topic will highlight the importance of knowing how the customer feels and explain how to communicate with customers. Taking responsibility. When a customer comes to you with a problem, it is important that you take responsibility to solve the problem. You can take responsibility for a customer complaint in the following ways. Listen without interruption and with full attention. Behave without aggression and without arguing. Do not extend excuse for the problem. Thank the customer for drawing their attention to it and helping solve it. Express sympathy and full understanding. Beginning the problem solving process. After you have listened to and taken responsibility for the customer's complaint, the problem solving process will begin. To initiate this process, you should ask necessary questions to get a more complete picture of the situation. Identify the customer's needs by finding out exactly what the customer needs you to do for them. I'm going to pause here a little bit. Is it recording again? Oh, I didn't stop it. Okay. All right, I'll have to edit this one. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm gonna have to read the editing video to edit this one. First, explain what you can do and then gently add what you cannot do. Discuss all options in detail and then decide what needs to be done. Undertake the agreed upon action immediately. Check the result to make sure the customer is completely satisfied. Communication techniques. If a customer is unsatisfied or just or unjust reasons, you will have to use some of the many techniques of the customer service professional to win their support and continued loyalty. Number one, listen. It is of primary importance when dealing with an unsatisfied or complaining customer to listen attentively to his or her complaint, gripe, frustration, or grievance. Be patient, attentive, and friendly. Number two, express that you are sorry. Apologize to the customer in one of the following ways. We are sorry for this mistake or problem. We are terribly sorry for this inconvenience. How can we work to solve this problem together? I can imagine how frustrated you are. Number three, do not argue or interrupt. This will only worsen the situation, especially if the customer is angry. Let them speak before you try to discuss with them what has happened. Number four, do not lose your self control. If you stay relaxed, customers will calm down. Number five, point out facts. Listen carefully and write everything down. Do not make any comments until the customer is finished talking. Number six, admit the problem. If you can suggest a solution, do so. If not, tell the customer what actions you will take and what actions will follow. Never make the mistake of promising something you are not able to do. Number seven, involve the customers in problem solving. Suggest the customer alternative solutions if they exist. Customers appreciate the opportunity to choose the ways of problem solving. Number eight, follow up. Make sure that the promised measures are taken. If you do not fulfill what was promised and ignore the customer's complaint, the problems will grow. Next time, it will be more difficult to solve. Number nine, give the customers a way back. Sometimes customers are wrong. You should let them leave with dignity without feeling embarrassed. Number 10, do not question if the customer is correct. From the very beginning, you should believe that the customer might be right. Always be open minded toward the customer's opinion. Make them feel they deserve to be listened to. 10 major do's and don'ts of customer service. So we're looking at don'ts. Everyday customer service representatives face situations when what they say makes or breaks a service interaction. This interaction lists 10 phrases that should never be used because they frustrate and anger customers. Number one, hearing the word no. Everyone hates the word no. It is demotivating, discouraging, and disinteresting. You will never hear this word throughout your life. You will hear this word throughout your life as a customer and as a service provider. No is tantamount to bad service. No is easy, cheap, unproductive, and negative. It means failure. Unfortunately, no is the word we most often hear when a new idea, request, or concept is introduced. Admittedly, there are times when you will have to say no, but focus on what you can do for the customer. Accentuate the positive and not the negatives of the situation. Better to say, what I can do is, and demonstrate that you care and want to provide quality service despite your current limitations. Number two, I don't know. Good service means never saying, I don't know. When a customer hears, I don't know, they hear, I don't feel like finding the information you need. Better to say, I'll find out, or let me look into it and get back to you. That's not my job or department. When a customer asks you to do something that you do not know how to do or do not have the authority to do, become a catalyst by leading the customer to the person or department who can help them solve their problem. Better to say, let me transfer you to the person who can immediately help you with this. You're right, this is bad. Many inexperienced customer service representatives think by sympathizing with the customer's plight, he or she will win over the customer rather than actually doing something to solve the customer's problem. If a customer expresses annoyance or frustration, do not make it worse by commiserating with him or her. Empathize. I'm getting tongue-tied. Empathize with the customer, but seek to solve the problem. Likewise, it does not do your company or organization any good to criticize coworkers or other departments within the company or to the customers. All interested parties end up looking unprofessional and inept. Rather, try your best to accommodate the customer. Do not promise anything you cannot deliver, but do try to serve the customer well. Better to say, I understand your frustration. Let's see how we can solve this problem. Calm down. When customers are upset or angry, let them vent within reason, and they will eventually calm down. Telling them to calm down is belittling and often serves only to infuriate them further. Better to say, I'm sorry. This is one of the ideal phrases for customer service. It helps to placate the angriest of customers and allows you to begin the process of solving a customer complaint or request and meet him or her halfway. Apologizing does not mean you agree with the customer, but it is a means to emphasize and move beyond the emotion of the moment and negative impact. I'm busy right now. It is not easy to juggle customers. You are often helping one customer when another calls or visits your service area. Asking a customer to be patient or politely asking them to wait is very different than putting them off and saying you are too busy to help. Leaving them stranded there or on hold are two of the mortal sins of customer service. Being too busy is tantamount to saying that you do not care and they are not important. Let the customer know they are important and you are aware of their presence. Better to say, I'll be with you in a moment, or please hold and I'll be with you right away. Call me back. The expression conveys little interest on the part of the customer relations employee for the needs and wants of the customer. You should always call the customers back because you want their business and are responsive to their requests. Being proactive is part of good customer service. That's not my fault. If an angry customer accuses you of creating a problem, rightly or wrongly, the natural reaction is to defend one's self. However, this is not the best course of action. The customer has a problem that needs to be solved. By resisting the need to defend yourself and focusing on the needs of the customer, you can resolve the problem faster and with less stress and confrontation. Better to say, let's see what we can do about this problem. You need to talk to the supervisor. This cliche of bad customer service has angered and frustrated customers for decades. Customers often ask for things outside the scope of your work or authority, maybe even outside the services or products provided by your company. While passing off these requests to your manager is a tempting option, it is better if you attempt to solve the problem yourself or directly go to the supervisor yourself and get a solution. You become a service hero for the customer and the supervisor. Better to say, let me find that out for you. Polite and friendly responses. The table below provides a list of polite and friendly alternatives to responses that should never be used by a customer service provider. On the left, we have wrong responses. On the right, we have polite and friendly alternatives. Number one, I don't know. Instead, you'll say, I'll find that out for you. Number two, no. Instead, you'll say, what I can do is. Number three, that's not my job. What you should say is, let me find the right person who can help you. Number four, that's not my fault. What you should say is, let's see what we can do about this. Number one, two, three, four, five, you want it by when? The right thing to say is, I'll try my best. Number six, calm down. The thing to say is, I'm sorry. Number seven, I'm busy right now. The thing to say is, I'll be with you in just a moment. Number eight, call me back. The thing to say is, I will call you back. What is your telephone number? Everyday customer service practices. While dealing with complaints is a very important part of customer service, it is important to remember that customer service begins the moment a customer first engages with your business. The following actions should be practiced every day by any company seeking to provide excellent customer service. Number one, be on time. Open on time. Deliver on time. Number two, follow through and deliver your promises. Number three, go the extra mile for customers. Number four, offer your customer options. Number five, express empathy to upset customers. Number six, treat customers as the most important part of your job. And number seven, give customers your name and contact details. Initiative Initiative in customer service. The practice of superior customer service requires initiative. Initiative is the difference between adequate customer service and customer service that wins you a customer for life. The following are everyday examples of initiative in exceptional customer service. The taxi driver who opens the door for you or waits for you to safely go inside your destination. The computer technician who does computer work and then calls back a week later to make sure your IT is functioning well. The petrol station attendant who washes your window or checks your oil. The electric company who calls and checks to make sure your service is working well and apologizes for any brownouts or blackouts. None of these customer service people had to make this extra effort or go to this trouble. These goodwill initiatives are beyond the call of duty and make the customer beyond satisfied. They make the customer remember the transaction or occasion. Every organization seeking to provide excellent customer service should seek, encourage, and reward initiative in their employees. Customer service statistics. While going the extra mile in customer service may not produce an obvious, immediate benefit, it plays a huge part in the reputation and long term health of a business. The statistics below highlight this fact. People spend up to 10% more for the same product with better service. When people receive good service, on average they tell 11 people. When people receive poor service, on average they tell 20 people and more. There is an 80% chance that customers will repurchase from a Shh. All right. AJ may have to go read over here, so.